Hello, and welcome to Gaming with Grub, and welcome back to our playthrough of Dominions 4. If you remember in our last episode, we were beginning to claw our way back from defeat as we smashed through Helheim's lightly defended provinces in the west, and we watched Bertios look at us over our borders with contempt, knowing that one day we will return to exact vengeance upon their god. I've already set up our turn. We are moving one of our generals around the map to pick up some of these stray soldiers we have. At this point, every body we can get in the battle matters. In the west, we're going to be moving our large army to the north so that we can challenge their god at their capital. Along with that, we will be putting a token force at this castle just to hold our border against Abyssia. If you remember, they begin to cast spells at us to kill some of our troops from afar, and they're going to be our next challenge. So let's go ahead and end the turn and see what happens. First of all, I had our god use some of our leftover earth gems that are just sitting there to go ahead and cast some clockwork soldiers. These are some wind-up soldiers that we're going to be able to use to bolster our armies, and I'm thinking about the fact that we're going to need to fight the dirty, dirty god of Bertios. And in order to do that, we need something that can stand up to its fear effect, and clockwork soldiers and other summoned monsters will be able to fight him without running away. We have a battle in Sleepy Mountains. Let's go ahead and watch that take place. We have our small expansion army here. Looks like a couple undead, some province defense. This one should not be too much trouble. There we go through the undead, directly into this leader, and they're out. We've conquered another province. It looks like, though, that they've decided to fight back by attacking us in the bulwark. I'm not sure where this province is. Ah, this is the province that we just took with our expansion army. This is just a token amount of province defense that I put in here. And it looks like Ner'zareth himself has left his castle to come fight. Let's take a look at what we're fighting here. So Ner'zareth, the Master Lich, he's the Pretender God. 2 levels of water magic, 9 levels of death magic. Poor amphibian, so he can go underwater. Another unit that causes fear. He's pierce resistant since he's undead. Shock resistant. Fire does extra damage to him, so when we go to fight him on the battlefield, our mages are going to rip him apart. He is cold resistant, poison resistant, undead, so again, certain spells don't affect him. Lifeless, so polymorph and other spells do not affect him. Does not need to eat. He's also immortal. Immortality is kind of a neat power that some creatures have. If they die inside a territory that their own dominion holds sway over, they'll go ahead and pop back up back in their capital. It's a neat way to be able to have a pretender god that's able to go out and fight and fight and fight, and if he does die, come right back without having to worry about losing them. He gives off a chill aura. Anything nearby gets cold and takes damage. He's been casting Air Shield on himself to protect himself. He does extra research. He does damage and stun damage to anybody who attacks him. And it looks like he's wearing a couple pieces of magic armor. As you can see, as a Lich, he has extreme magical ability, but is pretty weak if we can start to hit him. These province defense aren't going to do anything to him, of course, but it's good to see what we're actually going to be up against when we fight him. we don't need to watch the rest of this. So in the bulwark, we didn't take anything out. Didn't really matter. Some unexpected events. Looks like a hidden laboratory was found in one of our provinces. Got a huge amount of gems. An eye pendant, a magic item, and we found a lab. In Gwerth, the castle that we just took over from Helheim, playful winds have been captured, distilled into diamonds, and transported to our laboratory by our mages. 4 air gems. Again, we're having that starving issue because we have so many troops in that province. And then it looks like a hero has arrived. Suddenly, Cornelius the Pontifex Maximus appeared at the gates of our castle, wanted to fight for our cause. So we'll take a look at him. I want to see where this event was where we found that library. Ah, it's this territory right next to our main capital. Speaking of which, let's take a look at this hero who has arrived to fight for our nation. Here he is. Cornelius the Pontifex Maximus. Cornelius is the current Pontifex Maximus and the highest ranking priest of the Old Faith. He was the one who performed the high sacrifices in the capital, but it was also he who let decadence and corruption thrive in the priestly order. He has been blamed by many for the fall of the old cult and its traditions. The archbishops of the new faith let him remain as a figurehead, but everyone knows that his influence is limited. Cornelius still commands great religious authority and is a potent mage. Cornelius is old, frail, and rather fat, and rarely ventures far from his chambers. So we can see that he's 57, old age, fire resistant, 2 fire, 2 astral, 3 holy priest level. These are not very stellar stats. In fact, as a hero, he's extremely lackluster. Once we have our communion running, our basic mages are as good as he is on the battlefield, except for some of the priest spells he can cast. I think we're going to have him remain at home and go ahead and just research with the rest of our mages, building up our research. We'll go ahead, have Grugtar continue to cast these clockwork soldiers. I'm having us go ahead and also do some research into more construction magic so that we can see what kind of magic items we can create for our nation. We have the fire drakes here in case Abyssia does decide to attack. You can see that they're putting some weak scorpion beasts in their territory, kind of just a little standoff between us right now. These large armies that we're massing together, I think that if we march north quickly, we can cause a lot of havoc. So let's go ahead and get these armies combined. I don't want to move up here yet because if Ner'zereth moves south on us unexpectedly, I don't want to have our army caught unaware. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little province defense in here, so if he does move south, we can see what happens. We've got some province defense there. Bertios is still massing on our border. We need to continue to recruit our mages to give us the power we're going to need in battle. Here, we'll have him pick up these few stray soldiers and continue to move around the map wherever we have small groups of soldiers to pick up. Continue to recruit in the south. We're doing some small recruitment here. I want us to continue to recruit mages, because I think that's going to be what really swings battles for us, is if we can just get a lot of mages just shooting fire magic at the enemy. Abyssia won't help us with, but with everybody else, it'll be useful. So once these combine after the next turn, we'll start moving north, and I think we're going to take the fight directly to the god. And again, we're going to hope that Bertios holds off from attacking us in the north. Let's go ahead and end this turn. Alright, we finished some more research and construction. We're up to level 4. We can construct greater magic items. We'll take a look at those in a minute. We're almost going to be able to construct these clockwork horrors, and then mechanical men, which will be more units that will not suffer from fear that we can put out on the battlefield. Munder has claimed the Throne of Stability. We have a report from the Farseer in Sleepy Mountains. These are going to be more of those spells being cast at us from afar, trying to kill our troops. They're being pretty successful with these fire spells. We cast our Clockwork Soldiers. And then there was a battle in the Sleepy Mountains. This is the province we just took. It looks like I don't see their god among them here. I just see a couple small troops against our expansion army who was holding the line. Let's see how this plays out. You can see that our arrows don't do much damage. And then again, once we get in battle with these undead with this limitless morale will never flee. Our troops, however, do have a morale. Right now it's at 15. And some of our units are being made ethereal. And I'm not sure which spell is being cast to do that. The only thing I can figure is that one of our mages here is automatically casting a alteration spell to change their bodies into ethereal bodies. Go ahead and speed this back up. You can see the arrows not extremely effective against skeletons, but we are pushing through. And I think we pushed Helheim back. I didn't expect that to happen. It looks like we only lost 4 Principe. We killed 40 Long Dead. These are their easily recruited soldiers. Nothing we have to worry about there. They had some constructed soldiers, the same as we're building. We didn't kill any of their troop leaders that were with them, but that's okay. I'll take a 44-4 battle any day. And then we have the lack of supplies. This is hurting our troops in the long run, but we need to just amass these giant armies and push forward and accept the fact that we're going to suffer from starvation and disease as we move these giant armies around the map. If we had more earth magic in our nation, then we'd be able to produce some items that would create food and supply bonuses for our armies. But right now we just don't have any earth magic and no easy way to get anyone with strong earth magic to begin with. So we're going to have to deal with these supply limitations. We're going to go ahead and grab everyone and have them start moving north. I want to make sure that these troops are actually set up for battle. That looks good. I'm going to change these from stay behind troops to just cast spells. There's no need to give them that command. And Atticus, we really want you to stay back. So hold several turns, then stay behind troops. Same as Terentius. This looks like a good setup. Have them move north. And now, it's been several turns. It's been several months since we lost Bob to the heretical armies of Helheim. And I think it's time that we as a nation have one of our heroes stand up and claim the mantle of prophet. Now, the armies of Ermor have been led by some great generals. But I think there is someone we have forgotten about in our years of combat now, who has always been there for our country, an outsider that we brought in from his people, taught the ways of our lands, and who even helped us begin the southern advance of our armies. That person, of course, is Dauna. And after much consideration, our Emperor has decided to bestow upon this outsider the name of Prophet. So next turn, Dauna will become the Prophet of our country. We have these troops moving north. We have our recruitment continuing. And we continue to build up a bank of mages that we will be able to push forward. Cast our clockwork soldiers. Have our man picking up troops around the nation move. And we'll end another turn. And see if Bertios makes a move on us. I thought it was going to happen. I felt it coming. Bertios saw weakness and moved. Looks like in a report, again, they've been sending spells our way to attack our troops. Same in Gwith, where we have that castle. Dauna, the Atavi chieftain, is now known as the Prophet of Grugtar. And then there was a battle in Chibia. This should just be province defense down here. Ah! It looks like their god has come on his own to attack us. I'm pretty sure our province defense will just die. But we might as well see what happens in this battle. He's casting spells on himself to make himself more difficult to hit and improving his morale. Again, we've seen him before. He is horror marked, so maybe we'll get lucky and some horrors will show up and attack him. He has 212 hit points. His hit points will go up and down depending on whose dominion he's in. So we'll need to see if we can maybe spread our dominion and weaken him as well. The unfortunate thing is that as soon as everybody meets him in the middle, we are quickly going to see this province defense just melt and disappear. So there go the militia running. Some brave troops. We'll speed this up because there they go. And it looks like our mage who was doing some searching for magic sites was there. We had a commander, some Lion Tribe warriors. This was our Voldon and his small group that took the one territory. Not a big loss. I'm surprised the Augur Elder got away without dying. But it does look like, again, mostly province defense that was in that battle. Some unexpected events. Province income plus 10 from new trade routes in Donnermark. Misfortune plus 3. A vengeful crone is cursing our land. Hopefully, the Inquisitors of Ermor will find her and make her pay for this curse. In the Great Woods, a great treasure has been found. A fortune in gold, one magic item, and a huge amount of magic gems have been found and transported to the Arcane Laboratory. We got a magic pike, 1,600 gold, and a huge number of fire gems and other gems. That's going to really help us out in our recruitment. And then again, disease spreading among some of the army in the Sleepy Mountains. We're going to make this god pay, and we're going to take out Ner'zharuth before we allow them to cause irreparable harm to our nation. We will see those plans take place on our next episode of Dominions 4 on Gaming with Grug. We hope to see you then, and thanks for watching.